On my last full day in Italy, I revisited Venice. Come along as I search for hidden photo spots and share tips for exploring this iconic city. I also journeyed to Burano, a nearby island known for its charming and colorful houses. I immediately fell in love and had so much fun taking pictures of everything. Ciao, welcome back to my Italy travel series. This is my last stop in Italy, Venice. I'm super excited to be here. The trip isn't going to be over after this though. I'm going to a couple other countries on this trip, but I'm so excited to be back here in Venice. I have visited before. This is the only place on the whole itinerary that I've been before. Back in 2019, I visited with my mom and we had a great time. I'm only here one full day. I actually arrived yesterday at like 10:30 and just kind of chilled, wandered around a little bit, took some sunset photos, didn't vlog at all, which was kind of nice. But now I'm back to vlogging and I'm going to show you my day here in Venice as I just kind of wander around, take photos. I'm not going to be doing a lot of like the big hitter stuff because I did that last time I was here, like the bell tower in St. Mark's Square. Venice is a place that you can definitely do in like 1 or 2 days. It's not a very big city and it's very walkable. You're just gonna get lost. Like that's the main thing to do in Venice. My top tip is to just wander around and get lost. It's a beautiful, awesome maze. It's a photographer's dream, so I'm super excited to take a bunch of photos. So just come along with me. I'm gonna go to some photo spots. It's actually already after 9. I meant to get up really early this morning and go to Burano, which is another island nearby, but I just couldn't get up and I think my body was just telling me to rest, so I slept in a little bit and I'm gonna go in the afternoon instead and get like that good like more golden hour afternoon light. I know it's gonna be more crowded, but it just is what it is. Anyway, let's go start wandering around. There's only a handful of bridges that cross the Grand Canal, and one of them is the wooden Accademia Bridge, which is where I was taking sunset photos last night, and it has one of the best, like, iconic Venice views. Known as the Floating City, Venice is comprised of 126 islands, most of which are connected by over 470 bridges. It was a major seat of power during the Middle Ages and Renaissance. Today, Venice and the surrounding lagoon is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Of course, one of the top things to do in Venice is to take a gondola ride, but it will set you back almost €100. I came to this pretty bridge because it's supposed to be a good photo spot, but there's scaffolding on like both sides. Maybe I'll try to take a photo, but I don't know. It's kind of late in the day for good light. Okay, I took a few photos. I don't think they really turned out. The light's a little too harsh and I don't know, I just couldn't really get it to maybe focus very well, but it was fun watching all of the gondolas go by. There's just one after another. Some of them have people singing or playing instruments on them, which was cool to see. So I'm gonna keep walking to another photo spot. I love how the water shimmers against the bottom of the bridges. It's so pretty. Alright, now I've come down this little dead-end alley to the Insta-Famous Pier. It's what it's called on Google Maps. It's kind of just in the middle of nowhere. After this boat moves, I'm going to try to snap a photo. The pier is right next to this hotel if you have trouble finding it on Google Maps. It's just right around that corner. Again, the late morning light wasn't really that good over there. I snapped a couple photos, but a boat came and docked, so I'm gonna keep walking. If you want to take photos here, definitely try to come earlier in the morning when I think the light will probably be better. Here's one of the pickup and drop off loading zones for the gondolas. It's like a Disneyland ride or something. Also, I've ended up in like the designer store area. There's a Prada, Versace. On the other side of the bridge, there was a Gucci and I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. Back at that church I just kind of showed in a different clip, I saved some tourists from a scam. Don't sign any petitions or donate to any like causes, like the deaf community or like for like a deaf cause. I've heard about it in Paris, but this person was here in Venice and they were inside the church, and even outside the church it was like, don't donate, beware of scams, no one should ask for a donation, so just make sure you are paying attention. The guy wasn't happy I told him not to donate either. He like was yelling at me in Italian, I don't know, and like spit in my direction, but I just walked away because, you know, you're being a scam artist. Okay, here I am at St. Mark's Square, probably the most famous part of Venice. Looks like they're doing some construction and stuff though, which no surprise in Italy, always be prepared for construction. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I went up this bell tower last time I was here, so I'll show a photo of like the view. It's really nice at like sunset. There's St. Mark's Basilica. I think it's only a couple euro or like €1 or €2 to go in there, which I didn't do last time. I'll go see what the line's like, but most likely it's really long, but we'll see. As predicted, the line for the Basilica was kind of long, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip it. Next to the Basilica is the Doge's Palace, which I did last time, and I definitely suggest doing the secret itineraries tour. It's guided and really interesting. The Doge's Palace was once the political center of Venice, and connected to it is the Bridge of Sighs, which is where prisoners, after they were tried, would walk across and have their final glimpse of Venice, and they would sigh because Venice was so beautiful and they were never going to see it again, and they were sad that they were going to lifetime in prison. So that's why it's called the Bridge of Sighs. You can walk through it if you do the secret itineraries tour. For photos of the Bridge of Sighs, I suggest leaving this bridge and coming down here where you can have another view, and there's not very many people down here. For the best view of Venice, in my opinion, head across the water to this church tower. The view looks back at St. Mark's Square, and again, I did it last time, so I'll show a photo from then. Definitely highly recommend checking that out if you come to Venice. It is midday and it is so hot, so sunny, super crowded here in the St. Mark's Square area, so I'm gonna kind of go down some little alleys away from the crowds and try to find somewhere for lunch. Obviously it gets really crowded in like the major squares and around the Grand Canal, but if you go down like some of the side alleys, there's like no one, maybe a couple locals or just a couple people, and it's so much better. Also down these alleys it's so much cooler too because it's out of the sun. Yeah. I ended up getting a couple of half sandwiches at a restaurant with different seafood and eggs, and they were really delicious. And then I just sat in a church for I don't even know how long, maybe half an hour, just cooling off and relaxing. There aren't a lot of benches in Venice, like even in the squares there might not be any, or just like 1 or 2. So there's not a lot of places like stop to rest. But if you want to, you can pop into any of the churches and sit, and it's a nice place to cool down and rest your feet. I wanted to take a moment to talk about getting around and the accessibility of Venice. It is very flat and easily walked, but there are a ton of bridges obviously, and they all have stairs. I've only seen like 1 or 2 with ramps, so you're gonna have to go up and down the stairs on each side of the bridges, and you're gonna be going over a lot of bridges. Otherwise, the rest of the town is super flat. And public transportation, there isn't a ton of it. It's just the big burritos or like the ferries, and those are mostly along the Grand Canal and like the outskirts of the islands. You can also do like a water taxi, but that's gonna be more expensive. But mostly you're gonna be walking when you're in Venice, and you're gonna be doing a lot of walking. It's not a very big city, but you're gonna be doing like a maze through the little alleys and stuff because there's no direct route ever. Okay, I made it to like the ferry stop to go to Burano. It is line 12. I scanned this QR code to buy a ticket online. You have to get a 75-minute ticket, and it's $9.50 each, so round trip is €19. And then you just have to activate the ticket before you go on, validate it. I've made it to Burano. It is a 40-minute boat ride from Venice, and there's a couple other stops including Murano, which is where they do like glass blowing and like glass making. That's what it's known for. But Burano is known for lace making and the incredibly colorful houses, which traditionally it was so that fishermen could find their houses in fog when it was like really foggy over the lagoon, and they could find their way home. So that's why everything is so colorful. There's plants in all the windows. I've only been here like 2 minutes, but I love it already. Just like in Venice, the town is cut through with canals, and yeah, it's just so darling here. If you're interested in the town's lace making history, you can check out the Lace Museum. You can also buy lace in a lot of the shops here, but it's not always like authentic, high quality, so make sure you do a little bit of research before you buy anything if you want authentic Burano lace. These houses have little signs that match what the house looks like on the outside. How cute. It's crazy to me how bright some of these colors are. They must repaint them pretty regularly. Everything is seriously so cute. I just want to take a photo of every single house. I've done like a partial loop through town, and I've come back close to the ferry station just to sit in this shady park. The light isn't quite hitting like the good light. It's only 3:30, so another like maybe hour or two, and hopefully there will be some good golden hour light so I can like take better photos. I'm really excited. This town is so adorable. I definitely suggest checking it out if you're in Venice, if you have more than one day, or maybe if it's your second time in Venice like with me and you've already done all the stuff in Venice, you can hop over here and wander around. I think I might actually like it more than Venice. It's smaller and there's not really a lot to do besides just wander around, eat at the restaurants, check out the shops, take photos, but I love it. I dig it. Each like house is so bright and beautiful. There were some that were kind of run down and I think for sale signs were on them, so of course I had like the fantasy of like buying it and moving in and making it all up, maybe opening a shop or something. I don't know, but you always kind of want to move somewhere when you're visiting, but I know it'd be really crazy and touristy, and I'm sure the winters here are awful, so, and I don't have that money to do that, so but it's a nice fantasy. Anyway, I'll see you in a few hours when the light is better. I'm probably just gonna listen to my audiobook for a little bit. Also, if you're someone who worries about having to possibly find a restroom at some point, like me, there are a couple of paid restrooms that I saw. It's €1, or you can always go to a restaurant. You'll have to eat at the restaurant to use the restroom, but that's an option as well. Always carry some euro coins with you. That's my top tip for visiting Italy. After resting for a bit, I went back out to explore. There are so many cute shops around on this island. I already bought an art print, so I don't really have a lot of room in my luggage, but man, this stuff is cute. Probably one of the suckiest things about solo travel is that I don't have anyone with me to just take photos of me whenever I want. I can ask strangers to take like a quick cell phone photo occasionally, but not like with the DSLR, which is obviously better quality. I did bring the tripod. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been lugging the tripod around with me all day. And I do want to take some selfies here, but it's a little nerve-wracking, especially since these are all just people's houses and I feel weird taking photos in front of them, but we'll see. Hopefully I can get at least some. I only had a few locations in Burano marked on the map to visit, and one of them was Beppy's house, which is this one. Very colorful and definitely unique compared to everything else. Also, every little alleyway is just adorable. I'm obsessed. I think I really do like it here better than Venice. The battery on this camera is getting a little low and I forgot to bring the power bank, so I'm gonna go ahead and film an outro now just in case it dies. The last ferry back to Venice is at 7. I'm gonna try to catch the one before that. I think it was 6:44 or something, just so that if I miss that one, I have another option just in case. But I have loved Burano. I'm sure if you came earlier in the day, like I meant to, that it would be less crowded and the light would be really nice. It ended up getting pretty overcast, but I think I still got some pretty good photos. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is my last day in Italy, which is sad, but I've been here almost 3 weeks or so. I am leaving for Slovenia, which is a new to me country. Tomorrow I'm taking a Flixbus, so I'm gonna document that journey and I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see the rest of my time here in Europe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Surprise! I know I said it was gonna be the end of the video, but I wanted to show you the Rialto Bridge, probably the most famous bridge in Italy and so beautiful.